Okay, let's take a look at the 2023 Term 2 coursework assignment in prep for the coming algebra exam. We've got question 8a, which is 4x squared minus 24x plus 29 is 0. Now, it says here, though, solve the following equations using the quadratic formula. So let's go ahead and write that down. So we've got quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus, or rather, x is equal to, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Well, first of all, let's establish what a, b, and c are for these. So I've got a 4x squared minus 24. I'll rewrite it x plus 29. So the a, b, and c are the coefficients of the respective x terms. So here's my x to the 2, here's my x to the 1, here's my x to the 0. Of course, we never write x to the 0. We just say because x to the 0 is 1, and 1 times 29 is 29. So that means my c term is 29. My b term, my b term is going to be this one here, which is negative 24. And my a term is a coefficient here, which is going to be a 4. So I've got a is 4, b is negative 24, and c is 29. So now I'm going to populate the equation with the respective values. So I've got x is equal to, and this time I'm going to go through and I'm just going to say the whole thing is plus, and at the end I'm also going to just throw in the minus, having already done the heavy lifting with all the other calculations of the equation. So I'm going to say negative b. So what's negative b? Negative b, well, negative, it's going to be negative 24. There we are. It's going to be plus. I'm going to put a plus there. I'll do the minus later. So it's going to be plus, so look, b squared. So I put whatever b is negative 24. So negative 24 goes in here. And it's going to be minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is 29. Make sure the square root goes all the way out at the end. All divided by 2 times a, and a is 4. All right, that looks good. All right, let's see where we end up. So negative 24 is 24. I'll put a plus here. Let's see where we end up here. So we've got a 24 squared. I'm just going to do all this on the calculator so you can see how I get everything. So 24 times 24 is 576. And notice I didn't worry too much about the fact it was negative, because I know that a negative, which is all squared, is going to be a positive answer. 4 times 4 is 16, and I got 16 times 29, which is 464. All over 2 times 4 is 8. All right, so I got 24 plus. And now I'm going to separate this out a bit, by the way. I got 576 minus 474, that's going to be 112. Let's just check that. So I got 576 minus 474, or 464, wasn't it? 464 is 112. It is. So I've got to have plus root 112 all over 8. Or, by the way, x is going to equal that, or x is going to equal 24 minus root 112 all over 8. Okay, so by the way, this is nice and easy. I could have just crossed these out, because 8 4s are 32. Sorry, what am I talking about? 8 goes into 24, I should say. 8 goes into 24 3 times, so it's going to be 3 plus root square root of 112. What's the square root of 112? Square root of 112 is, this is why you don't want to try to factorize this with brackets. I'm just going to call that 10.583. 10.583 over 8. Or this is going to be 3 plus, because 8 goes into 24 3 times. Plus, it's going to be a minus, crikey. So easy to make mistakes in this. You just got to talk it through. And we know that 8 divided by 100, that's going to be, so it's going to be the same thing, of course, right? So over 8 is 110.583. So I got so many things going through my head, all the things I've got to do, and I'm making mistakes as I go through, so I do apologize. All right, so let's just add this up quickly. We've got 10 point, whatever it is, divided by 8. So I'm going to divide that by 8. Here it is. is 1.32. I'm going to call that 1.323. Yeah, that's good. So I've got 3 plus 1.323, or 3 minus 1.323. Because I'm going to try and have a 2-digit answer, so I'm just rounding it to 3 dp, so that seems perfectly acceptable. 3 plus that's going to be 4.32. That's my answer to 2 dp's, or x is going to equal, now this is going to be interesting because this is actually going to be a smaller number. So I've got 3 minus 1.323. So it's going to be 1.677. I'm going to call that 1.68. Yeah, so I'm going to call that 1.68, seems reasonable. So what we want to do in our answer then is state, therefore, either x is equal to 1.68, I'm just doing the smallest one first, or 4.32, or if you want to write it in set builder notation, you can write it as the smallest one, 1.68, comma, 4.32, and that would be a perfectly legit way of expressing the answer. Hope that makes sense.